Linear equations are functions of degree 1, and they have the general form that is sometimes called slope-intercept form of y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope, which we also learned as the rise over the run. Now you can calculate this by taking your y2 minus your y1 and divide it by your x2 minus your x1 whenever you're calculating the slope between 2 points. In this case, if you were to look at this function, we have a rise of positive 2 and we have a run of positive 1, which means our slope in this case is equal to 2. The second thing you need to figure out the equation of a line in slope-intercept form is obviously the y-intercept. That's the b. The b you can determine by either seeing where the line actually goes through the y-axis, in this case that point is at 3, or conversely you could figure out when x is 0, what's the y value. So since we now have a slope of 2 and a y-intercept of 3, we can write the general form and slope-intercept form of this equation of y equals 2x plus 3. So now let's look at another example. We'll call this example 2. We have a line that has a negative tendency, so we know that our slope is going to be negative. We can already assume that much. So let's choose 2 points on our graph, and let's figure out what the slope is between those 2 points. So I want to determine my rise first. Note, I'm going down 1. And then I want to divide it by my run, which in this case is over 2. So the slope here is a negative 1/2, and my y-intercept is that point right there at 1. So that means my equation is going to be y equals negative 1/2 x plus 1. So far we've looked at how to determine what the linear equation is for a function when you're given a graph. But what do you do if you're not given a graph? Sometimes you're just given 2 points. So let's say you're given the point 4, 7 and 8, 4. Then you can use a form that's called point-slope form. And you guys may remember this from Algebra 1, you may not, but that's okay. Point-slope form is just y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. So the important parts here, the things that you need to know, you're going to need to have a point that's got an x1 and a y1 and a slope. So let's figure out that slope first. We can calculate the slope between 2 points very easily by using y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is you want to look back over here at your points and you want to label them. You've got an x1 and a y1 and an x2 and a y2 to make sure that you don't get anything mixed up. So you're going to start with your y2, which is 4, and you're going to subtract from it your y1, which is 7. You're going to divide it by your x2, 8, minus your x1, 4. So 4 minus 7 is a negative 3, and 8 minus 4 is 4. So you know that the slope for this equation is negative 3/4. So now you just need to plug everything back in. Now if you note, we're going to have a y1 and an x1 in our function, which means we need to choose one of these 2 points to use. Let's use this first one. So that means when we plug stuff in, we're going to have the first y carries down minus your y1, which is 7, is equal to your slope, negative 3/4, times x minus x1, which is 4. Now, if the question just asked you to write the function in point-slope form and didn't say anything else, then this is the answer and you're done. But if you wanted to go one step further, let's say you wanted to get that function into y-intercept form, all you need to do is solve for y. So if you want to solve for y here, the first thing to do is you're going to need to distribute out that negative 3/4. So it means you're going to have y minus 7 on the left-hand side of the equal sign is equal to negative 3/4 times x minus 4 times negative 3/4. The 4's cancel out. So you're left with minus a negative 3. You then want to add 7 to both sides to get y is equal to negative 3/4 x. Now minus negative 3 becomes a plus, so this is plus 10. So now you have your equation in y-intercept form. So like I said, depending on the question, if it asks you to have it in point-slope form, that's right here, or if it says it wants it in y-intercept form, which just means you solve the equation for y. And that's all you need to do in order to do the first part of the summer assignment.